Yeah. I was riding around in the V12 with the racks in the middle. Had to pray to Almighty God, they let my dog out the kennel. When you get it straight up by the mud, you can't imagine this shit. I've been pulling up in the drop tops with the baddest bitches. Young nigga been focused on my check. Got a new coupe wrapped around my neck. Tryna put the water on my potato. I got killers to the left of me.
We was lurking on her, ain't show no mercy on her. We was going back to back, we put a curfew on her. It was dark clouds on us, but that was perfect for us. We know you always crash and burn, but it was working for us.
What's good? My name's Tim, and welcome back to Fashion and Blasting. As you know how we normally start these videos, let's get into this fly shit. So I got these Air Jordan, these the retro 2s, these Lucky Green. A lot of people don't fuck with these 2s, just 2s period, but these shits go hard, especially with what I had to throw on today. So I got on this Mitchell & Ness. This is a throwback Mike Smith jersey, green. I remember in like 7th grade this shit came out. You had this and some Guess jeans, you was killing that shit. But they just brought it back out, so I had to grab that shit and I had to make sure I do that shit right. So I got the old school throwback Phillies hat. And the last episode we was talking about the HK VP9 and how I went down this long rabbit hole on how I had to get the best firearm, best pistol. So I did the HK VP9, it's still one of my top firearms, but I was hearing a lot of noise about another firearm, and it's by Walther. And at that time, it was the PPQ. So this is the Walther PPQ, the Navy edition. And before we get started with this review, I just want to show you that this firearm is not loaded. There's nothing in this magazine. There's nothing in this chamber.
Okay. From here on, nothing goes down unless I'm involved. No blackjack, no dope deals, no nothing. A nickel bag gets sold in the park. I want in. You guys got fat while everybody starved on the street. It's my turn.
You think you're gonna live long enough to spend that money, you fucking hump?
If any of you are tired of getting ripped off by guys like that, you come with me. I'm at the Plaza Hotel. You're welcome.
Alright, let's come down this rabbit hole. This is Walther PPQ. This is the Navy edition. Man, this is one of my top guns here. This and the HK VP9. Load it up, 15 rounds. About 7 yards and then 21 feet. Alright, 15 rounds, all center mass, 7 yards away. Bad shot. The trigger on the PPQ is a little bit better than the VP9, but the VP9 grip is better. Let's get into the purpose of this firearm, which is the Walther PPQ. This is the Navy edition. This is a great concealed carry weapon. It's a little big for me. I'm kind of spoiled with the single stack 9mm. It's a good range toy. It's a good duty weapon as well. And with the name being Navy, it's a great firearm for the Navy. It has certain ports in here where it let the water drain out, and it's very reliable underwater as well. The capacity of this firearm, we have a 17 round magazine in this firearm right now, but I also have a flush fitting base plate magazine, which is 15 plus 1. But with this extended one, it adds 2 more rounds, so it's 17 plus 1 in the chamber, which will bring this to 18, which is comparable to a Glock 17. Alright, let's get into the ergonomics and controls of this firearm. I ain't gonna lie, coming from the HK-VP9, I was hearing a lot of great things about this firearm, and I just really couldn't believe it. I was such a fan of the VP9. Everybody was saying if you like the VP9, you should try this gun. And part of it was because of this trigger. This trigger is very great, especially for, I say it's the best striker fire trigger from a company from the factory. As you can see, it's a little take up. It got a very crisp wall. You get the wall, there's a break. You can show, I gotta show the reset. They say that it's 1/10 of an inch for the reset. That's the reset there, and it's right back to the wall. It's a great trigger. It's hard to not shoot accurate with this firearm. Also, it has very aggressive finger grooves and stippling on this firearm. It's not so aggressive where it'll rub and hurt you. It has these grooves in the front. I got average size hands, so the grooves work pretty good for my hands. It's a very comfortable fit. You can switch out the back straps. They got a small, medium, large on this firearm. And let's get into the magazine release. It's an American style magazine release, and the HK-VP9 has the European style paddle release. The magazine release, I can get a good grip, and with my strong thumb I can drop the magazine. It drops right out. It has serrations as well in the rear. It aids with pulling the slide back. It's pretty good deep back serrations, and it has front serrations as well if you're into like doing press checks, just to check to see if you got one in the chamber. It also comes with a threaded magazine in this Navy edition. Alright, let's get into the upgrades and accessories of this firearm that I added to this gun. I haven't done much because it comes pretty well off where I don't need to do too much, but I did change the sights on this firearm, and I changed it to Trenchicon HDs, which is actually some of my favorite night sights on the firearm. It comes with metal sights. Well, the Trenchicon metal sights is a U-notch, and it got, these are the HDs, so it got a photoluminescent big orange dot in the front, and you can shine a light on it and it will shine very bright. But even if you don't, it has tritium in the front and the back of these sights. And the last upgrade I did on this firearm, it has a Picatinny rail, and it's home defense and also a range toy, so I like to add lights to pretty much all my firearms. So I got a Stream Light TLR7A, which is one of my favorite lights on pistols. 500 lumens with about an hour and a half runtime on one battery. Let's get into the pros and cons of this firearm, and I'm just going to be completely honest. The pros definitely outweigh any of the cons of this firearm. The pros of this firearm, I know you probably heard of it if you're watching this video. Just the Walther great trigger. It has just a great trigger. It's hard to not shoot great with this firearm. You get to that wall, it has a predictable break. And as far as the reset, it's a very short reset. It has the Picatinny rail, so you can add a light or laser or whatever you want to this firearm. I also like that it's American magazine release. It has great ergos as far as grip wise. This is pretty good. It also, with this version, it comes with the extended magazine, and it has 17 plus 1 in the chamber. It has a good aftermarket market, like where you could pick upgrades or whatever. So I got the Trenchicon HDs on this firearm, and it came with a threaded barrel. And everybody know I like threaded barrels. I like to shoot my rugged Obsidian 45 suppressor, and I can switch that with pretty much all my pistols. Any con I would say on this firearm, and it's very hard to pick, would be that it's not red dot ready, but Walther does offer the tactical version of this PPQ, and that comes red dot ready. Alright, let's get into the final thoughts of this firearm. It's the Walther PPQ Navy. It's a great, reliable firearm. It has a phenomenal trigger. If anybody knows this Walther pistols, they have great triggers. You go to the back, you get a nice crisp wall. I go back, I'll show you the reset. The reset is phenomenal. It's great. It's a striker fire firearm. It has pretty good ergonomics. It comes standard with this version with 17+1 in the chamber magazines. It comes with a Picatinny rail, it's threaded barrel. Everybody know me, I like to shoot suppress with my rugged Obsidian 45. It's good for aftermarket parts. As I said earlier, I got the Trenchicon HDs on this firearm, which is probably my favorite night sights, aftermarket night sights I would put on a firearm. Trenchicon is just a great company, made in the USA. I also like that it has the US mag release, so it's just a button and I can get to that fairly easy. It's drop free. This is a great firearm. I suggest you go out and just try it. I know this is the older version of it. They have the new PDP, which is just as great as a gun. This one, I just hold sentimental thoughts for this because it just got me into Walther. This was actually my first Walther, and I own probably 5 more Walthers after this, and I probably never sell this gun. But if you get a chance to shoot one, I suggest you go get it.
Follow my dad page. Like, comment, and subscribe.